Hi there, and welcome back to another live stream. For today, I kind of just wanted to do something simple. It's been a while since I worked on any art on the stream, so yeah, we're just gonna go in and paint a simple little picture here. So I've got my canvas right here, just set up in Krita. Where did I put my pen? There it is. And let's just grab a random brush here. I'm just going to do a basic landscape today just because that's easy and it'll probably happen within an hour here. I'm not really a fan of that blue. Let's get a bit darker here. I'm not going to worry about getting too detailed or too complicated. It's just going to be a basic sky, a mountain or two, maybe even a few trees if we're feeling like we want to. I'm going to get a simple gradient going here. Probably start working on a white canvas actually. Typically I work with a off-gray canvas when I'm doing character sketches or like long-term illustrations or paintings just because it's a little bit easier on the eyes. And so we're going to go ahead and blend that together a little bit. The edges here. I don't really have a color scheme in mind here. I'm just kind of going back and forth, getting a simple blue gradient. And I'll probably keep going forward with a more lax color scheme as we go along. Just because I don't really feel like giving myself a headache. Color theory is a wonderful thing and it allows you to make really beautiful pieces of art if you actually understand the little rules and techniques. But I don't want to understand them at this point. I just want to paint something nice. Okay, so we have that and we're just going to take a blending thing here, a little blending stump, and we're just gonna kind of like soften this a little bit. I'm not gonna get rid of all of the brush strokes. Just gonna make it so they're kind of pushed back a little. Where did I put that? There it is. Do one more pass on the darker stuff right here. That's a decent enough sky. Now clouds I always find trouble with. For digital paintings, it's much, for physical paintings, I mean digital painting is a lot easier just to kind of like lightly dance the brush across the canvas to get something. That looks halfway decent for cloud. But for digital means you kind of have to, what's it called? You kind of have to be more deliberate about how you actually block them in. So we're going to get more neutral, kind of more gray blue here. And let's see here. Smooth up the one right about here. really have a shape in either of these clouds. I'm just kind of like locking them in. There's one kind of tall one. I think we can put one right about here. I usually use for making vertical video time lapses. I found that to be the easiest method to do it on. So the standard 90:20 ratio for HD and stuff like that. Let's block one more in right here, just kind of floating. I suppose we can have like streakier clouds. Yeah, put like a streakier one right here just in the background. I might touch that up with a highlight or two. One rule to keep in mind for when you're making a piece, any kind of piece, is just try not to make it boring. So if it feels right and it feels natural, just add like something. Get out of here. Let's see here. Let's get some highlights going. I'm gonna concern myself with being too deliberate and too diligent here. I'm just kind of placing highlights wherever. I'm gonna end up blending these a bit to sort of, what's the word Bob Ross usually uses? Hypnotize or whatever. Yeah, they're gonna eventually kind of soften a little bit and hopefully start looking like actual fluffy clouds. Hopefully, that is the idea. Just gonna keep going forward. A simple little streak right about here. That's not actually for a cloud back. There we go. There we go. Now we're gonna do a two-part blend, sort of like blurring on this. Take this, we're just gonna bring it up. And it's not done over here. Those also soften these and push those back a little. to always save your work. Next time, what else should we add? Start making a distant mountain. I don't think that would hurt anything. All of this is just blocking in stuff. Just doesn't really matter how you block it in. So let's pick a brush here. I suppose we could just keep using the same one that we were using. So let's grab a bit of a darker thing. Right. One technique I've been trying to work on is atmospheric dissolution. I mean, basically just the idea that as you go further off in the distance, things will start to look a little bit bluer and kind of in the purple spectrum because there's a layer of air between you. And if you can do it right, it can look very stunning and very natural. I'm not going to have the time to do that to make it look natural. Plus, that's for more of a realistic thing. It's kind of just like a casual painting that we're doing just to have fun here. That's just one technique I always think about when I'm drawing or painting. I mean, let's get just the very side of a mountain and we'll put one peak. Let's put one peak right about here. Some stuff there. So let's kind of blend and bring those down a little. Not quite softening the edges yet. Basic idea where the slopes and the angles of everything, what's getting hit by light and what's not. And above all, I'm just kind of breaking it up a little, making it look slightly interesting. And making sure to walk back any sort of mistakes that come in. The old saying is, like, we don't make mistakes, we make happy accidents. But sometimes technology can have like a little quirk to it. In the case of digital work, it's I don't know if you caught it there, it's just a little like loop back, a roll back on where the brush position was, and it causes these little loops. It can kind of look neat, but it's not something that I want. It's the same methodology of picking the hair off of one of your off your canvas that comes off of one of your brushes. Okay, that looks good enough. Let's get a little bit of a darker tone here, and we're just gonna add some shadows. A little bit more deliberate with my shadows typically, just because they now have defined edges based on the light. In all seriousness, I should do the shadows first, but I tend to go overboard with the highlights on the mountains usually. So the shadows would probably be a bit more overbearing comparatively. And I always double back and just kind of clean up the edges. There's a hair on my canvas. this tablet I have is kind of at the end of its life here, and I need to replace it. So if you want to help me fund that, feel free to follow. I really appreciate it. Okay, then let's go back through with the white and just kind of like crisp up the edges here. We're going to take our blending stump and we're just going to soften that slightly, trying to be careful not to bleed it too much. Behind me, I don't know if it's picking up, but I can just hear the faint cooing of birds. Which is very nice. Next, we're gonna go ahead and soften the base of this mountain a little bit, just to kind of make it look like fog. But also, we're also going to take the original cloud brush, just add a layer of this stuff right here. Something to actually blend in. Trying to maintain that. It's going to be a very cool painting by the end of it. I'm going to do one plane here. basic impression of sticks. I'm kind of just making this up as I go along. Very little thought going in, just going with what feels right. Next up, some green. And if it doesn't look right, I can always just erase it. It's a little too neon. Closer, so we'll make the trees a bit larger. Put too much in there because otherwise it'll kind of just block everything. Some more branches in there. Very vague and abstract with these, because not everything has to be detailed or at all. Well, some of this is going to get covered up with highlights and shadows and stuff.
4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Let's add a bit more of a yellowy highlight. Trees are done. Let's add the basic ideas of grass here.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Sideways, just because we can. Let's try and like break up the silhouette here because we got some artifacting right there just from by virtue of how the brush works. I'm just going through, just trying not to do any sort of uniform patterning, I'm just very delicately just patching in some basic grass blades. And I'll go back through and I'll add a few highlights here and there, just to try and distinguish them. Kind of putting them in too close together clumps, but because these are the sort of background intersections, they'll eventually blend out as I add more depth of range in the color palette. Okay, so we gotta go back to the color wheel, more into the yellow, slightly different thing here, and I'll probably go back to this. There we go. Add a bit of highlight to the base layer first, and then we'll go into making the blades. I tend to jump the gun on a few things. This is how I do. I have far more ambition than I care to admit, or that I am physically capable of fulfilling. Not really a set size for how big these blades of grass can or should be. I'm just kind of putting them in there just to add detail, just breaking things up. There is a very like high chance of just overdoing this. So less is always more. And I'm also going to take this kind of darker brown, and I'm just going to add a few miscellaneous sticks. progressively more saturated. Or loosely defined edge, I mean. There we go. Okay. I think for this layer we could probably have like a bigger tree to work with. So let's grab another brush, probably this brush that has some like weight variation to it. That way I can get some more delicate branches. Larger, and we're just gonna tell it, assuming you know the loop back thing doesn't happen. That's really what's been annoying me most with that glitch, is that I'll just try to carefully get a long, slow stroke going, and then that happens. But that's okay. Just one of those little quirks. You just kind of gotta work with it and work around it. In some cases, it can help you out. It's looking like a thin little guy. Let's put a little bit more meat on his bones. And I've overdone it with the tree branches here, but that's okay. I'll be going back through and doing a few highlights here, so it'll eventually even out. It's a nice little tree here. Let's just get the shadow, the background of a few leaves in there. Just very splotchy. That's not splotchy. I'm going to try to preserve a little bit of the background noise. Because it is very easy to overdo this. That'll be good enough here. Alright, so let's grab our other brush and do a little bit of highlights. I find it easier just to turn the camera sideways. Like, I find it easier to go horizontally with my things. Just getting in some delicate lines. They don't have to be perfectly uniform. I think it's almost better because you get kind of more of a bark texture from it. Okay, next time we're just going to dip into here. We're going to get a little bit of a darker shadow. We're going to put that along the back end of the branches. to try and make it a little bit more interesting. Just add a little bit of dimension to everything. Okay. This time around on the leaves, we're going to try something a little different here. Where is it? Take this brush and we're just going to kind of carve in around. That might take a bit too long. We are on a small time limit here. As casual as things go, we are on a small time limit for this session. So yeah, for now, we'll just do what we did before. Next time, we'll put a bit more care into these leaves. But for right now, there is no shame in just letting the brush do all the work. Block those in. Add our highlight layer here. Back onto the grass. And just the same techniques and everything, just kind of putting everything to the side and just doing a little bit of a grass texture, nothing too serious. Just something to break up the silhouettes. Okay. Got about 45 minutes that we've gone through here, so let's do a small pond, I guess. Grab this color here again, and take this. Excuse me while I just try to define the planes a little bit. Reflective surface of water is just to, it's a two-layered approach. So you can take that, and we're going to duplicate layer, and we're just going to take layer, transform, mirror vertically, okay, put that below. Drag it down. That'll get you a very basic but effective reflection that you can then just play around with to get to look more or less a little bit like water. And this part is just kind of a slow process. You could just drag it down with the mouse, but I personally like to do it this way because it adds a little bit more accuracy to everything. Okay, not too far there. You could also just block everything in using, the basic color palettes and then you can just kind of basically just hand sketch everything in. And that's all well and good. But this is very still water, borderline mirror-like. What I'm imagining right here. So we're just gonna do this and it will save on a little bit of time. So next up, one trick I used to do, instead of using the blending stuff, I grabbed this wet bristles brush and I turn the opacity down a little bit and just use whatever program it has there. So I'm gonna take this, just gonna drag down. But you want to make sure you have vertical strokes first. That might be too much. So, it's easy to go overboard with this one. It's a bit unruly. Slowly, diligently. Bring everything down. Turn this back to 90. That's a very nice, that's a basic reflection there. So next let's get on to the shoreline, everything, and let's see here. Gonna get basic sandbar going. blend in layers that make it look like the sand is wet. Kind of rushing at the end here. Let's get a bit of a grainier brush going. Let's bring back this one. Add more some white speckles. Next, we'll blend those out a bit. It's kind of just a soft one. Next, we just kind of need some tall blade grass. easy way of doing this. I'm thinking like brown pond water. Good. Computer's lighting a bit. I'm just gonna do this way easier. So we go do the thing. That might be too dark. That's too light. There we go. That's, yeah, we'll go about 15. Alright, there we go. Yeah, I'll call that done. It's a very basic landscape. So next, all we have to do is sign it. Make sure I sign it on the actual layer. Alright then. That's about it for today. If you're watching this on Twitch, thank you for stopping by. And if you're watching this on YouTube later, thank you for stopping by. You have a nice day now.